Are you thinking about making a move to the Portland area? Well, in this video, I'm going to be talking about 4 types of homes, or attributes, I should say, that people typically look for when they're making a move to the Portland area. These are the top 4. So stick around, and if you stay around to the very end, I'm going to give you the most sought after, and we'll see you on the video. I'm Ann Stewart. My team member Erica Hagfirst and I, we get calls, emails, and texts all the time from people probably just like you who are researching about making a move to Portland, and we love what we do. So if you're thinking about making that move, don't be shy. Reach out to us. All of our contact information is in the description below. We hop on Zoom calls regularly to go over the ins and outs of what your move might need to look like, and we love to hear from you. So reach out. All right, so today we are talking about 4 attributes that most people request when they're coming to Portland that they want to have in a house. Now, you might not have any of these or needed, but you might find that you would sure like to have 1 or 2 of them. And the first one is views. Yes. People know that in Portland, it's a beautiful place to live. You can see Mount Hood when you're driving down the freeway or flying into Portland, and there's nothing quite like a Mount Hood view. I don't know too many places in the country where you can just see this majestic mountain off in the distance as your primary focal point every day, or almost every day if it's not raining or cloudy. And I have to say, I have a pretty nice little view out my office of Mount Hood that I enjoy a lot. But views do come at a price, unfortunately. So if you're looking to find a house with a view, especially of Mount Hood, then you're definitely going to have to open up your pocketbook, because houses with views, while we do have them, they're not cheap. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a view of Mount Hood. It could even be a view of the coastal range. We have a lot of neighborhoods and parts of Portland that don't necessarily get the Mount Hood view, but they face the other direction to the coastal range, which is quite lovely. And so anything that has a view of the valley or Mount Hood or water, or, in some cases, you're in places in the Portland metro area where you can see a picture of St. Helens and Jefferson and Mount Hood and what have you. So the more mountains in the picture, the better, but you can find them. And it's a high request. A lot of people want to have the view, especially if you've been in a view property before. We find people who have been in properties before with views get pretty spoiled, and they have a hard time not having a house with a view. So we have them. Just be prepared to look in certain locations. You want to be in a neighborhood where you have some elevation. So we do have a lot of hills. We talk about that in other videos, where you have some healthy hills here in Portland, and the healthier the hill, the better the view, is what we say. So anything with a hill is going to usually garner view options. So if that's you, there's options. Hit us up. We can direct you in the right locations depending on where you're hoping to live. The next one we get a lot of requests for is main level living, or 1 levels, ranches. It's a really common request. In fact, I tell people a lot of times that the baby boomers are looking for them in the droves, and we just don't have a ton of them. We don't have bunches and bunches of them, or neighborhoods built around 1 levels like in a lot of states. So the 1 levels tend to go pretty quickly, or primary suites on the main go pretty quickly, because a lot of people just don't want to do stairs, or maybe they can't, or they're thinking ahead about their lifestyle options. So if that's you, you're thinking about main level living needs, you need to be prepared for the popularity of them. In fact, we just put one under contract with a client of ours who literally was searching for a while for the perfect main level living setup, and they found it. And every time they found one they loved, there was always multiple offers on it. So not uncommon to see that happen in the Portland metro area, because we just don't have a ton of them, and we have a lot of hills and not enough for everyone to go around, so to speak. So we've got the main level livings, but you're just going to have to probably get in line a little bit depending on where you're looking, especially what your price point might look like. So main level living, primary suites on the main, is a big request we get. The third request we get, which might come as a surprise to you, is we have a lot of people who want total privacy. They want a bigger yard. They don't want to look at their neighbors. They don't want to be in a congested area. So they either want a small acreage, or they want a big enough piece of land, or they want to be able to walk around their yard or their house and not feel like somebody's looking in on them. So the good news is we have a lot of housing that does kind of, meet that criteria. Usually these are homes that are more in established neighborhoods with mature landscaping, but you're typically going to have to look at houses where you're looking at probably easily 1/4 of an acre or more in order to really give you that privacy that you're looking for. Places in Southwest Portland are really, good for that, or certain neighborhoods where I always like to say in like the 70s and 80s, they put houses on really good sized lots and you can tend to get a lot more privacy with those. Anything newer than probably the last 20 years is not going to give you quite enough privacy that you're looking for, but we get a lot of people just want total privacy. They don't want anyone looking at them. They want to be able to do what they want to do and not have people sitting right on top of them. So the last, and certainly not the least, most commonly asked for, in fact, I would say it's the most common request we get when people move to Portland, is walkability. They want to be within a walking distance to coffee shops, restaurants, potentially work, or being able to get on public transportation, or being close to bookstores or what have you. And it's perfectly reasonable because Portland's kind of known for its quaintness and being able to get places. Now, you're going to find on the east side, you have a lot more walkability options for neighborhoods than you do on the west side. But I did just do a video of the 5 most walkable neighborhoods on the west side. Go check it out if you're looking to move to the west side, because there's not a ton of walkable neighborhoods, but there's some good ones on there you should consider. But the east side is kind of known for it. All those little quaint, charming, yesteryear neighborhoods that people absolutely love. They want to be able to walk to them. Now, keep in mind, if you're looking for walkability, everybody wants walkability. So a lot of times, the more walkable it is, the more you're going to pay for a house. In fact, houses that are literally just down the street from some of the best restaurants we have here in Portland that are renowned for being great places to eat, they can garner a pretty penny. So just be aware of that. You can get condo and townhome options in walkable areas as well, if that's something you're open to. But the more walkable it is, the more desirable it's going to be, and usually the price tags tend to follow. So walkability is definitely something we get a request for. We have quite a few options depending on what you're specifically wanting for your lifestyle and what kind of amenities you're looking for. A lot of people know before they get to Portland some of the walkable neighborhoods. In fact, I always make Sherwood my example, because Sherwood has what I call a cult following, right? Sherwood, everyone knows it's got antique shops and restaurants and all the things. It's just a great little place, Southeast Portland, right there in close in downtown. But a lot of times people do a lot of research on the walkable areas, and they kind of know when they come to Portland, like what specific neighborhoods they're hoping to be in. And then sometimes when you get here, you kind of get a sense of which ones feel like more your vibe than others. But walkability is probably our highest request. And a lot of times it gets a little tricky when people are looking for walkability, views, and whatever else they're hoping to get. We actually just found the trifecta for a client when they told us they wanted views, walkability, and main level living. We thought it would be near impossible. They had a good budget, but still, it can't be always easy to find those things, and we found it. Couldn't believe it. But anyway, yes. So if you're looking for one of those things, you're not alone. This is very common for people to look for, walkability and views and everything else. Well, thanks for sticking around and listening to the 5 most commonly requested types of properties that we tend to get asked for people to look for when they're moving to Portland. If we missed it, or if you're thinking, hey, I didn't need any of those, I'm looking for this, we would love to hear what you're looking for. Put it in the comments below so we can see what other options people are looking for. And hey, if you're making a move to the Portland area, and whether it's 9 days or 9 months, hit us up. We'd love to get on a call with you, talk about your move, and help you make a smooth transition here. So see you on the next video.